Her name was Sarah, and she was from County Longford or something like that. And she was quite a stunner. So, you know, the next morning over a bowl of porridge, I decided to put pen to paper, and this is what came out. I began my tale of woe only 7 days ago. Daisy, a wee Frisian, went down. She just dropped a calf, about the size of a giraffe. No wonder she couldn't get back up off the ground. Well, I tried all the doses of all the things I knows is good for any sickly kind of beast, like 2 bottles of ampicillin, a botan and a skillin, as was only gone 3 years out of date. I fed her bowls of chowder, potions, herbs and powders. I got lotions from some lads around Leslie. I tried an ancient relic from somewhere near Downpatrick, but Daisy, she just lay there in dismay, with a quiver in her thighs and 2 sad sunken eyes. It was plain to see that she was in distress. And says I to myself, McGee, get a hold of yourself, get down to her ma and get the vet. Well, you know they say that I'm gruff, but I'm really just a bluff when it comes to squaring those bills to be paid. With their taxes, their hikes and their margins, those veterinary charges can soon wind up a fair lack of quid. Oh, but how I turned to butter. Not a quibble did I utter, as she stepped down so sweetly from her jeep. Her name, Sarah Sturgeon, the veterinary surgeon, and like shite, I knew I was in deep. Her hair, wild, long and blonde as Charolais come. It swished like magic through the morning air. With one quick flick of her head, about a dozen flies fell dead, like no tail of any cow could compare. With her 4 perfect quarters, why she was nothing short of perfection in every style and way, from her toe up to her head, every inch a thoroughbred, and around 62 kilo I would say. Her blue stone eyes shone bright, like stars in winter's night. Her luscious lips of international red, as tidy a wee chassis as a 135 Massey, like the one I have lying up in the shed. Her sultry southern tones spurred a spring into these old bones. Hello, she says, and please call me Sarah. Well, my blood run to places where it hadn't run for ages. I had to reach for the spray for my angina. Her dainty, shapely chin, her neck so long and slim, like some classic, famed 40s film star. Such an agricultural queen could easily explain why so many farmers wind up in Mullingar.
My brother not trying to.
Well, by then it was me who was weak at the knees, never mind Daisy's situation. For that moving Sarah Sturgeon, the veterinary surgeon, had relieved my emotional constipation. She turns and says to me, homeopathy. Arnica might just here do the trick, though to be extra careful, I shall perform an internal. For you're right, you know, she does look brave and sick. To the snap of her surgical glove, I lapsed deeper into love. By then, my Daymart long johns far too tight. As she lathered on the soap, a lump gathered in my throat. and I couldn't walk nor talk at all quite right. Finally, she sums calcium, magnesium. Why, Daisy's muscles are all fragile, torn and feeble. She'll be up soon like a bee with just 25 cc from my brand new hypodermic needle. So Swift went in the stab with a deft kind of jab, and sure enough, Daisy quickly came around. In a moment more or two, she was the old Daisy that I knew. A second, lost it there, hold on a second. In a moment more or two, she was the old Daisy that I knew. Hold on a second. So Swift went in the stab with a deft kind of jab. And sure enough, Daisy quickly came around with a shudder and a shiver, and then one big slap of skitter. She shot herself right up off the ground. In a moment more or two, she was the old Daisy that I knew, more like her old ways and her frolics. Can you hear it coming? To kick off the final dregs, she drew out her right hind leg and caught me fair and square in the hydraulics. Well, I woke up very ill in Daisy Hill Hospital, with my block and tackle still back somewhere in the byre, with only visions of Sarah Sturgeon, that veterinary surgeon, and my gruff old voice now 2 octaves higher.